We will begin the Village of North Bennington Board of Trustees meeting for Tuesday, September 10, 2019. We'll begin with a review and approve minutes of Tuesday, August 13 and August 26 meeting.
So I will make a motion to approve the Tuesday, August 13 meeting.
I will second it.
I will abstain. I will not there.
Matthew, if you read them, which I know you did,
I did.
you can approve them because we do need
Oh, you need a third?
that.
Yeah.
Oh, I
That came up at the last meeting, that even if you don't, as long as,
Right, yeah.
and we have enough to approve, and so you actually can't vote.
So you made a motion to approve, you seconded it. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and the next one,
I will also make a motion to approve the August 26th meeting.
which was the second, we can discuss some ancillary issues as well as setting the tax rate.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next item, the warrant.
I just had a quick question, not really on the payment of anything, but and I know it's probably just a clerical misclassification, but the streetlights still keep getting put on the park and rec. So the streetlight bill, so under park and rec this month, it was $1,500 and something. I was like, oh, what did we spend? And I saw it's the streetlight bill, not just, I know the fountain, I think, gets put under there. And I think there's a electric bill at the Little League park, but then the big $1,200 bill was also put on the park and rec.
That's where it's budgeted.
No,
There's a street light budget.
but it's not a part.
But it's not under park and rec, it should be under.
Okay, let me look and see where the.
This happened-
That's very
this
easy
happened-
to change.
Yeah, no, I think it happened like 2 meetings ago, and I think maybe we just have to, I'll have to sit back, I usually try to bring it up and we'll just,
It's
calculating.
posted under street lights.
yeah, but if you look under what account it came under, it's coming under. Yep,
5210 street lights.
yep, and then if you look over here, under trees, park and rec, under park and rec, we have $1,500 that came under park and rec, and there's only,
There's park and rec expenses. Under park and rec expenses, you have 5210, which is street lights.
No,
Then you have 5220, which is trees and parks.
right,
5210 is where the street lights went.
it should
50.
not.
but isn't all,
Yes, it should
isn't all
go
the
under
50?
street lights.
It's not a subcategory of Parks and Rec, because if
No.
we spent the $18,000 to $20,000 a year on streetlights under Park and Rec, we wouldn't have any Park and Rec.
That's where it's budgeted. Look
Well-
in your big book.
Well, we need to change that.
Okay. So you want a separate category that just says street
I
lights?
think there always was a category at one time that, it might have been under, what was
Because if it came out of park and rec, then we should have a zero, we wouldn't have any money
Right, if it was doing that every month, you
in
don't
our,
have anything.
we wouldn't have anything in the reserve fund. And like,
Yeah,
or
the
it would show
reserve
up.
fund is separate.
It's just a, category.
Public works. You have park maintenance, parks reserve, street lights.
Under,
Okay, so that's part
under public works.
Public works. I can change the title on that other report, but it is still public works.
Right, but
It's
public,
public works, but not park.
park and rec falls
Okay.
under public
Okay,
work.
it's a matter of a
Right.
title.
Okay,
It's a matter of a title.
Well, it's also a
It's
matter
where it's
of,
budgeted.
it's also a matter of the parks budget, which is what Bennington gives us plus what we pay.
Right, and that goes all under the same thing called public works.
okay, so that's what I mean, so
Yes.
under public works, what's confusing me, I guess, when you get into the detail, and I
Yes.
look under, and what it says comes out of the park and rec, so maybe that should say what comes out of public works.
Public works.
Perfect. So as long as it's coming out of our money.
only a category title,
Gotcha.
It's not coming out of your actual
No.
park budget.
Then I don't care what it says in there then.
but it is coming out of this section, which is what your budget
Gotcha.
is.
Thanks, Mary.
This is
Yeah, no, that makes
what we
sense.
look for you for. Okay.
That makes sense.
So we're still looking at the warrant.
Yes.
Any questions, concerns?
No?
I will mention that the first payment to West Oil is included in here, but we still have 2 big credits for Maravido. Mark, I will be happy to call them,
I
I
can call
didn't
them.
know if you did.
I can come to them.
Okay,
How will you deal with that?
they'll just send us a check.
They'll send us a check for the credits, because they've
And I know
already notified us of the credit.
Correct, and I know exactly how to apply.
Yeah, what would have happened there if we had gotten into another agreement with them, they would have taken that and decreased our monthly
Correct.
payment.
Got it.
So, I guess when I called, I didn't think to request. So that
And
could
maybe
be-
they are going to, and it
They
just
can
didn't
follow up,
get
because it
into
wasn't
the,
right.
yeah, okay.
No, I can follow up with that tomorrow.
Okay, and then, the folks at West Oil have norms, information, and also for the one delivery, one time only, they'll call, Ted for that one, tank for the water department.
So-
They only fill
They
theirs
only do
once.
once?
They only fill theirs
How
once.
big is it tank?
250.
What's it for?
It's for their side of the garage.
Oh, just for that?
Basically, just
Yeah.
I got you.
And I assume, do they ever look at it?
Do who ever look at what?
Do they ever check the tank to make sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Because again, I know they
And for
typically
the
do
last
that.
2 years, I had 2 years worth of data on how that was filled, and it's only been filled once each year.
Perfect. Okay.
So they'll do that, and then she's also gonna send me each time they make deliveries with the details of that delivery, and I'm gonna reconcile it as we go along, rather than wait until the end of the
Good.
year. And we won't get into this situation where we have $1,000 worth of credits that we
Yeah.
have to wait.
Is this the amount each month?
I'm not certain, we're gonna start with this, but if
Okay.
we have our next deliveries and we don't use this much, we may or may not. Yeah, I just don't wanna get into a situation where we have almost $1,500 in credits or $1,400 in credits, and we just waited all summer to use.
So if there are no other questions, I'll make a motion to approve the warrant for $29,216.14.
I'll second.
No other discussion, I'll entertain the motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, citizen comments.
Payroll.
Oh, payroll, sorry. Thank you. Anything I know about that?
No.
Straightforward. So this is our last one for Carson, right? Through this one now?
Correct.
And then we have Lori and Mary for their services.
There.
And Justin. Okay.
I will make a motion to approve payroll warrant for $7,953.28.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'm sorry, thank you. There's no other warrants, no other fire, none of that stuff. So, we move to citizen comments, there are no citizens. We'll move to the treasurer's report.
Cash flow, I did not send you a list of that, you just noticed I didn't include that in there. Our cash flow is okay because we have not paid any road maintenance bills. Tax bills are gonna be generated and will be in the mail next Tuesday. So by the end of September, we start having, funds trickle in, so I really do not anticipate we're gonna have any kind of.
So we have not
Issues.
made any payments yet to the,
No.
to the big road projects that are
Not to
getting under the
not,
radar.
the road projects and the truck are the 2 ones that we'll look at. Other than that, pretty quiet month.
Great,
Okay.
we like that. Item 5, highway facilities report. Norm?
Talked to the paver, they're gonna start tomorrow on West Street. Hopefully they'll get West Street grounded up and shaped. And then on Thursday, the plan is to move then to Royal Street and then pave Royal Street on Friday.
So,
We'll come back to.
School Street next week,
Yeah,
we hope.
say, as long as weather holds out.
And what's the whole, it's like a 2-week project roughly?
Overall,
No, it should be,
Less than that?
couple days, really, week, maybe tops.
Okay.
Depends on the rain, how they move around, they might have to go back to
Sure.
Bennington and come back, but, Lori wrote a nice letter, we gave it to all the School Street residents, that's gonna be the hard one. We're gonna have Louis there first thing in the morning with the truck right across the road, not letting anybody in. I mean, that road's gonna be difficult to pave and,
Mhm.
but that's probably not happening until the following week now. Is that-
yeah,
or-
more than likely, that's
Okay.
correct.
So I guess I just asked Lori to be a liaison with the school on that as much as we can, stay in touch with Norm,
Yeah,
and hopefully he can stay in touch.
we've
with-
been doing that.
I know, yeah.
He asked me to let Tim know, I did. We talked again this morning.
We kind of thought it was gonna be this week, but they're gonna do the others first, do the grinding, get those done.
And
That
as
makes sense.
he said, he'll have a number for the school by the end of the week.
Fantastic. Thank you for following up on that. Anything else? Oh, I think this would be the time to talk about maybe the leaf policy that
It
we.
is a good time for you to talk about the lead.
So as hopefully people remember, we as a board decided, I think in our annual meeting, that given the expense and kind of equipment that we would need to follow through with the tradition of picking up leaves for free for all people in the village, we decided and made clear that this is not happening this year, with the understanding that if there is enough interest in the village for such actions to continue, that we will need to have a vote at next year's annual meeting for expenditure of, what were those numbers? 50,
45 grand.
45 grand for the kind of piece of equipment that's necessary to efficiently and without breakdown and on a smaller piece of machinery. And we're open to a village discussion about this, and want people to understand that this is the year where people are gonna come to realize that they're gonna do what most other people do in the county, which is bag their leaves and haul them off to dump or compost them or.
So we also, just because we're not picking them up, I think in the past we've allowed residents to bring them, so
That's correct.
we
To
can
the
still
boneyard?
bring them to the boneyard on the back entrance to Lake Herring. And maybe we just, if we're relying on maybe opening out to residents now, maybe we should get some signage, just like a little, A-frame
Dump
guiding
here.
people and making sure we tell them where and how we want it done.
Right, not in plastic bags.
Right, it's
Just
gotta be, yep, out of
labels.
trailer.
They can take them there in plastic bags, but they take the plastic bags back with them.
Yes, that's
They dump them out, do whatever. Paper bags would be okay, I guess.
No.
No? Okay.
We're not a dump site, when they get brought there, just leaves, that's it, just like at the dump.
You don't want sticks and you don't
Yeah, they
want.
can stay sticks, natural vegetation that grows out of the ground.
Dead cats
It's
don't
fine.
count.
They go over the bank.
Okay, I know that was always
They go over the bank, but,
Yeah.
with that, and I would also, because I repeatedly told people that have used this service, geez, I don't forget, I know the banner used to have those little blockheads, and I think we should probably take one or two of those out and for a little bit of time and say, we are not picking up leaves. And also, we're more to post things around the village,
right.
so people know.
I think it's worth that expense, if anything else, just to point out that we've made it clear multiple times publicly. Lori, what do you think about that? A notice, I know the notices cost a lot, maybe.
The blockheads. the
Right, I know what
blocks.
you're saying on the bottom of,
Right, because this doesn't have to be legal, it's not.
I don't think
legal
it has to
notice,
be
it has to
legal,
be-
we've made it clear. Just a reminder, maybe like you said, maybe down on the square, have a thing,
Now,
taken care of.
just where she posts things around, a little letter, like in the post office, a lot of people go in there and they read it. And then
Lori?
it's like wildfire.
You think that's all right? You're
I'll
on?
do that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
And I would encourage too, I mean, there's no need to wait till, if there are enough people that are interested, you know, get together, you're welcome to come to a meeting to express your interest in, you know, starting the program again, realizing that there's an expense associated with it, and,
Yep.
you know, if the residents want it, we spend their money. So if they want it and enough people want it, then.
Absolutely,
it's
and
something we'll-
I think if we had the proper equipment, Norm would pick them up
Mhm.
and his crew. But it is gonna take some input from the village, otherwise, you know, it's just not there for you to regularly use, if there's nobody, somebody takes care of it. I initially was always adamant about, this is all the way we've done it, and everybody, oh, yeah, but I've come to see that it's a big expense to the village, and, if the village overwhelmingly wants to have it happen, we'll do it. But
It's also a drain on our, not just the equipment, but it's a time consuming.
That's right.
With the equipment we have, if we had the proper equipment, it would be less cumbersome for our two-person road crew to deal with it. So it would be, we would have to, if we were gonna start again, we would make sure we do it the way that's manageable.
That's right. So, take note. DRB,
Has not met in this past month.
so what's happening there? Oh, yeah, right, no, is there something coming up?
Not that I've heard of,
Okay.
maybe.
There might be some things coming up, which I'll speak to later, but nothing real soon. Planning Commission,
Hang on, is there like a, I don't know.
no, what?
I'm just trying to remember, did we get something about having to review, is it the village?
Right, so that's under the Planning Commission, and next Thursday is a meeting that I will attend, hopefully, in Bennington, I think where they're kind of collectively, all the towns are gonna just approve what the DRB has done for this.
for what now?
For the town plan, this stuff sneaks up on me.
Is it like the,
Oh, actually,
the
I
master
think it's
plan?
email. No, it's not that,
What's the,
I'll get it here. It was, it's, and there's another element to this too. The BCRC September meeting in Bennington, where I think they're kind of starting to do this in a collective, doing what they're required to do for proper funding and all that stuff. It's not really a big deal, it's not, I don't think it's specific stuff to what we're doing. But at the same time, I was asked today whether I was gonna be at that meeting where I could sign, because I guess I'm the chair of the planning commission. Because Chris was, and then it was ZA, but,
Yes.
yeah, plan approval hearings, that's it, the BCRC.
I think it's,
Approval hearings, is that it?
yeah,
Yes, perfect.
Yes. For September 19th.
yeah. But the BCRC is also asking for our approval of a BCRC regional MPG application this year. Project will be a regional housing bylaw survey. BCRC staff will look at the central mixed-use village districts in each town, village, in the region to see if current bylaws present barriers to housing development. And I said I'd be happy to sign that, and I'd like to do that study. It'll make specific recommendations by town or village for how to improve our bylaws in these areas to encourage better housing.
Funny enough, I just worked on the housing ordinance today,
Okay.
and I couldn't email it because my computer's being silly, but I'm gonna send you that and two others for you guys to peruse and see if you need to make any modifications before I send it to Rob.
And
But I worked on the housing one, so
Thank you.
that should have everything in it that also is applicable to Bennington.
it sounds like what they're gonna do is do a study right now to look at ways that it ought to be changed,
Right.
if at all. So, it's timely. And So I'm gonna sign this, let them go ahead and do this study, and that will help inform what we do.
Yeah.
And it may, yeah. Wilson Plain. I think that's all I got. Fire department. Nothing specific from them except to thank them deeply for the work that they did with the village party, block party, as they have in previous years. But it was a great time, and they set up and do all the hot dogs, hamburgers, and they all get involved. They're all there, all that can be, and they do it quietly and without much fanfare, and they need to be thanked because really it's, I mean, how many of us could just jump in and do these kinds of things? It's not just that, it's everything else, that, you know, parades and, you know. So thank you very much to all the fire department, and hope that we can keep doing that. I haven't gotten any numbers on that party yet, but I think,
they have a roundtable meeting for, yeah.
I heard estimates of,
Seemed higher than.
yeah, 300,
300 was what I
350.
heard, floating around, was what they
So,
Well, I had a number of 402 when they were, because they were
Yeah, I mean,
using the name
oh, name
tag,
tags,
so
yes.
every time someone, because they knew how many name tags there were, so.
also, that's fantastic.
So for that many name tags, you
Unless
must.
they're
But that
all-
wasn't the end, that was just at one point.
There might have been a lot of people, you know, changing their names many times or something. No, that's great. It was a great band, it was potluck, it was a beautiful night, rain held out. And I need to thank the round table for really put, you know, they put this together, and this was the third year.
Yep.
It's time for people to come together, they have all sorts of stuff, the Vermont Arts Exchange is there, and they're setting up questionnaires, interviewing people about things that they think are great about the village, things that they think should improve, and it's just an all-around good time. So thanks again. Water Board, John probably has a better sense of what's going on right now with the expansion, but as you can see, water lines are in fact being put in. This is a separate from what you see up on 7A at the, that's part of the PFOA extension. That's a massive project there. But they're slowly getting all these different connections put in. Normally they haven't started up Mechanic Street yet, but I believe that is part of the plan.
There's some construction going on there, on the plane. We could ask for water board.
That would be nice, yeah. Be what we should. Be nice if they were here. Really fast. So that's that. New business. Anybody? I have some. There are two things. One is, and this is a kind of, it's new in that I want to bring it up again so that the board kind of codifies where we stand on this. But it's something that's gone on forever with respect to trees that are potentially dangerous on properties or threaten utilities or roadways and this and that. Citizen of the community called me, it's probably a couple of months ago, is concerned about a tree that is going to, it's definitely calving off and it's going to fall on power lines across a street, and wanted to know what we were going to do about it. And I explained that the tree itself is certainly his responsibility. There have been times when it's been deemed by the board to that it would be easier for us to deal with it now than deal with it when it's across the road or something, that we with that, I've spoken to Norm, he doesn't feel that this tree is one of those situations, but I assured the fellow that I would contact the Green Mountain Power to at least make them aware of this particular tree, and that there have been occasions where they go, oh, you know, yeah, that's true, you know, we'll just soon drop this now and deal with it when it's middle of the night and on the power lines. I've reached out to the people there at Green Mountain, and they haven't gotten back to me. I have made it clear to this individual that, you know, in the most, if Green Mountain was involved and they dropped a tree or part of one in the right of way, that we might be willing, the village highway department might be willing to clean up what's on the ground. But that's all contingent on Green Mountain deciding that they would want to do that. You know, it really is, you know, the tree's in the right of way for sure. That doesn't mean that we own that tree. I just wanted the board to kind of agree that, and I believe we've held to that policy pretty strictly. Depending on what we find out, hear back from Green Mountain, they might say, yeah, you know what, we'll take care of it, we'll do something to it. Then I would put them in touch with Norm, and Norm can decide whether he wants to have anything more to do with it. I think the highway, depending on their time and availability, might be willing to do something in the event that the tree is on the ground, but they also have, I think, the right to say that also should be the burden of the homeowner. Again, depending on individual circumstances, so I just want to bring that up. And then new business involves what John sent out last night about a cell tower. And I apologize that when I read that and even looked at the drawing of the proposal, I was still thinking in my head that that was the proposal for the one on, from another cell company on the state syndicate property behind the laundromat. Remember that meeting we had?
Yeah, so this is different?
This is different.
Okay, so as I read it, I was under the same assumption.
And I probably made it under that assumption.
And when I looked at it, I was saying, that's nothing like he explained to us, because he was talking about a little topper thing that
Right.
goes on a light bulb. That looked like
This is a
major
100
construction.
by 100 foot thing.
Okay.
So this proposal was brought to, I guess, John initially. And this is Verizon, who wants to do a tower they say is very similar to the one that's on the top of the stone building down at police, you know, custom police station building. It just sits up there above, next to, what do they call it? It was the visiting center. Yeah, and it's a significant tower, and it's certainly not terribly attractive. But this one is on village property, adjacent to the town garage, and would be a potential revenue stream for the village. Would clean up that area to the west of the garage. But I think there's a lot more that we need to know before we, and I think John and I might sit down with them to look into that. My first questions are aesthetics, what benefits do we get from it? If it is a Verizon tower, does it help all the rest of us who are on AT&T? I mean, the whole town doesn't have access.
Yeah, I would assume that's a no. I would assume if Verizon was not, it's strictly for.
Well, so that's not necessarily true, because I'm involved with the towers on Mount Anthony, and they do share, they do a sharing thing. And that's what I want to know, is this going to provide better service to everybody? If not, I don't know that it's of that great interest to us. I wanna talk
Although if
terms.
there is a significant revenue stream, that may be.
This tower, from my experience with the one I've been involved with, would probably be significantly less than the one that I'm on top of Mount Anthony, which services, you know,
Bigger area, sure.
but I don't know. And, I think there's
They have a
the,
height listed on that, I did look at it.
there's an aesthetic issue. I think there's the concerns of health and radiation and all that stuff that people bring up.
Hate to be determined.
Yeah.
Height, yeah, that's, okay.
Um,
Because that would be, I think that would be one of my,
Wait, how high rate?
it's 100 feet in the air, and that's all you see when you're driving into the village, I'm thinking it's probably not gonna be very,
But my point was, and of course I was referring to the other project, but this project too does involve the village because it's on village property. It involves a contract negotiation with that, but it also certainly involves a DRB review and all the other stuff. So I'm just putting it out there, if the community wants to start weighing in on their need for cell service and or, you know, there are the possible advantages of the revenue stream there is that we connect, it could help us, while they're doing that, connect the town garage to public sewer, which it currently is not. It could help us expand the town garage, you know, could create the funds to do that. It may also be in an area where we want to expand. You know, I just don't know how far, so,
And find out what kind of right-of-ways they would require,
yeah, that's,
because we need to have our facilities secured. You know, we can't just have them so that they can, you know,
oh, right,
you know,
exactly.
get in.
You mean access to
Yeah,
land
access,
separate from access to, yeah. No, I think it would, you know, I don't think we have any of those answers yet, but, it probably would have its own access off of Mechanic, further down the streets.
I don't know, based on where they have it.
I don't think there's anywhere else to have their own access.
Yeah, no, you're right. So I didn't even look at this part because I just in my mind was thinking, oh, but, you know, they're doing it behind it. This, as proposed, is within 20 feet of the garage, right where you have.
Well, somebody can email that to me.
I will. Thank you.
No, I can't, because my computer's broken. But there's someone will.
But that's just something that's coming up for discussion. My experience with this is this kind of thing can go on for a long time.
You just have to,
You know, this facility involves generators and,
yeah, no, it was, when I
Yeah.
saw it, it just,
yeah.
it's a big project.
Gotta look at the benefits versus the, you know, well, so. That's all I have for new business. Anything else, anybody? Is there any old business?
yes. Two old business, on the smoke claims that we
Yes.
talked about at the last meeting, I got all 5 answers back. John has them. He seemed very pleased, because I believe now that there doesn't seem anybody contesting it, so when I talked to him just briefly, the other day, he seemed to think he can take this and now go get the judgment for that.
Against the current
Yes.
holder of the,
Which is the, reverse mortgage company is filed for foreclosure, although there's been no public notices and that kind of stuff, but John knew the legal part of that. But he at least seemed pleased that all the answers were back, and, he seemed to think that now we can at least get the judgment, so that when it does sell, the village will recoup the cost that we indicated there. And then the second thing is at the last meeting, I volunteered to do a drug test policy, but there are just a long list of questions, and since John wasn't here, I figured I won't discuss that today, but what I'll do is try to type out all the questions, because a lot of this stuff is if this, then this, and if this, then that, and if it, you know, so.
but to be clear, we've been following the policy anyway regarding that I mean, maybe not a policy, but we've been doing what
We
is
do the
required for.
random tests that are always required for
For CDL.
CDLs. But this came up from a meeting with Norm and John and Passive on suggesting that we actually have a policy. So I will list out those questions and you'll see what all of those things are and what options,
Great.
decisions you'll need to make.
Thanks, Mary.
Okay. And that's it.
Other old business?
Ordinances.
Yeah?
I have 3 ready to go, but I have failed to be able to email them because my computer's being funky. So I will get them to you as soon as possible. There's a couple of question marks that you guys can answer hopefully for me, and then I'll send them off the road after that. It's number 6, 30, and 3, which are just random ones, but they kind of play off of each other. And then I'll keep going with others.
Fantastic. And will you send those when you can?
Yes.
Okay.
I have to restart my computer, which I'll do later tonight.
And as soon as soccer season is done, I can,
Yeah.
I'm happy to be involved in that. Or even
I'll
before
shoot
that.
you the questions, because some of them
Sure.
it's like, well, like for the taxi cab one, I said that we keep the town manager, or the town, whoever issues the licensing for taxis, should still be the town of Bennington's manager who issues them, because we don't have someone who would do that.
Mhm.
So that was one of the questions, and yeah, any questions I have, I'll shoot to you guys.
Perfect. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Well, anything else? Anybody?
One thing,
Yeah.
I haven't forgotten about the student, I'll try to write something up and submit it and let you guys see it, but.
Good.
Max is,
Did you find out if he graduated?
he
or not?
didn't graduate, so I
Okay.
don't know if he'd be interested in this work, so.
Well, with that, is there a need for executive session? Any personnel? Legal? No?